1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes,
1, 2,
okay.
3, 4.
Okay.
Okay?
Nice. Okay. So,
Bonjour.
bonjour. So, first, maybe can you say what is your name?
My name is גיארי.
גיארי.
Yes. I was born in a kibbutz. I was born in Israel in a kibbutz called חרוד יחוד. That's where I'm coming from, and that's where I live most of my life.
It's a kibbutz in the north of Israel?
It's a kibbutz in the north of Israel, but about an hour and a half drive from Xanita. It's not near the Lebanese border, which is right over here. It's more near the Jordanian border. Okay? It's between the towns of Afula and Bet She'an, if you know the Israeli map. Okay, this is me.
So you spent all your life in a kibbutz?
Most of my life, yes. I'm 51 years old, and for about 27 years I'm managing in a kibbutz. Okay, so I know how to manage a kibbutz, and that's my business. That's why that's what I'm doing for a living.
So, what is the work of a manager of a kibbutz?
Well, a kibbutz is a very strange organization. It combines both businesses and a community life, a municipal life. And it's all with the same people who are working in the business, who are having dividends, getting dividends from the business, and they also managing their own kibbutzim or some other, and they live in this place. So the kibbutz, you are going to your everywhere in the world. You're going to your work, which is in another place, geographic place, in downtown, or in the factory, or in whatever, or abroad, and you come back at the end of the day to your house, to your family, and so on. This is normal life everywhere in the planet, okay? But the kibbutz, you are working and living in the same place. And that makes the whole thing very complicated. Okay, so you know, you need to know how this strange system works. Not everyone knows how to manage such a complex system.
Is it still true? Is it still, are all the people living in the kibbutz also working in the kibbutz?
No. No, for the last, I think, decades, some people are working outside the kibbutz. Like me, for instance, I live in Xarod, and I come to Xanita 3 days a week. I work in another kibbutz.
So you work in 3 kibbutz?
Right now, I'm working in 2 kibbutzim, but I'm doing I'm doing some projects, business project, which are related to kibbutzim. For instance, I'm representing 11 kibbutzim in Harod Valley, which are building huge wind turbines for electricity manufacturing. So I'm representing this group of 11 kibbutzim. Okay, so my business is in the kibbutz environment. Okay, and I studied economic and business managing. I'm an MBA. I have an MBA degree, and so that's what I'm doing.
So what are the main issues here in Xanita?
The main issue? There are many main issues, too many.
So, can you give me some examples?
First of all, in Xanita, there's, in the last few years, there's new immigration of young people, young families, who didn't want to live in the old kibbutz, in the old system, but now after the advance of privatization changes, they are willing and want to come here. So there's many young families who comes here, and one of the main issues here in Xanita is combining the not old but the existing community with the new community that comes here, that arrives just 2 years old or so on. This process, and it's very complicated, very hard. You don't get things that are taken for granted in the old kibbutz, in the old systems. The people who are living here are take for granted some things. The young people, they don't take for granted anything, and they are.
Can you give me an example?
Wow, like who decides about we are planning to build a new swimming pool in the kibbutz? Who is going to decide about it? Just the old population, everyone, members of the kibbutz. There are people who live here. They are not members in the kibbutz, but they live here permanently. They have houses here and so on. Can they decide about it too?
It's like who is allowed to vote.
It's exactly who is allowed to vote, who is allowed to be involved in decision making. In many areas, in many fields, who is making the decision? I'm a manager of a group of people or the whole place. There's a lot of many interesting and challenging questions.
So what happens with the swimming pool?
First of all, we decided that everyone who lives here permanently is going to vote about it. That's a swimming pool. But for example, decisions about selling some of the companies or part of the industrial companies that we have, not everyone can vote for it. Just members of the kibbutz are allowed to vote it because they have a share.
So can you explain this? The members, because you say everything is in the same place geographically, but also the members of the kibbutz are the owners of the companies.
That's right.
So can you explain?
Well,
how do you manage with the money? What is the strategy?
The money goes, first of all, there are a lot of people who are working in the businesses, in the kibbutz businesses, okay? And the people who work in the businesses can be members of the kibbutz members, and they can be people who just live here and they're not kibbutz members, and they get their salaries. The salary is going straight to their bank account, okay? It wasn't that way 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, or 70 years ago.
70 years ago, there were only...
It was a small, in the middle of a hostile environment of Arabs and Lebanese, but that was the old days, okay? So people who work in the business, they get their salary, like everyone in the normally. The businesses, when they earn money, when they have dividends, they distribute dividends to the kibbutz, and the kibbutz distributes these dividends to the members. Okay? As everyone by his own share.
So there is salary for everyone who is working there,
right?
And dividends only for the members of the kibbutz,
right?
Because they are the owners of the company.
Exactly.
And sometimes members of the kibbutz are also workers, but I think that maybe there are members of the kibbutz who are not working in this company, who have only the dividends and no salary.
Right.
Yeah.
But even though they work outside, for instance, a teacher who work in a school which is not in the kibbutz, yeah. But its salary, his salary or her salary is going to the kibbutz, and the kibbutz distributes his salary back to her or him. Okay? About the dividends, it's important to say that not all the dividends that the kibbutz gets are distributing to the people. Some of the, or a good deal of part of the dividend is going to pension system, pensions programs, infrastructure, physical infrastructure, building of electricity, water, and so on.
Public services.
Public services. And some of the dividends is going to the bank accounts of the kibbutz members.
Okay.
Not all the dividends is going to the people.
So how do you decide the part of the dividends to each of them?
It's not a every year decision. The key, the percentage of how much is going to distribute or going to the various things is decided about a year ago or 2 years ago, and you know that every dividend you get 40% going to the people, 60% is going to the pension, to go to the infrastructure, and so on and so on, and the community.
And you say it's not an every year decision.
No.
Why?
Because the percentage is decided, and we don't want every year to argue about it. It's not. It's crazy to fight over it every year.
You said to fight.
Yes, because one person wants the whole dividend to the bank. Another one think that it's very important to go to the pension to deliver to the pension program. Another one think that it's people argue about it. Okay, no fighting. Sometimes it's a real fight, but arguing is very hard. People are there's a lot of tense all the time, because people have different interests, and it's impossible to make this decision every time. It's too much.
So you fix it for how many years?
Until we decide to change it.
So it's stable.
It's stable. The percentage is stable, but
it depends. After the amount depends on the result of the companies. Okay. And
naturally, because it's a dividend. If the company can sometimes be in a loss and not profiting, then there's no profit to give dividend from. Luckily, we have a nice companies here, and we also have an agriculture branch, which is growing bananas and avocado, which is giving us some nice amount of money to the kibbutz. So that's a business, agriculture, banana and avocados. The company which called Kotlav, which is doing the coating things for buildings and materials, and Xanita lenses, which have lenses for surgery.
For surgery?
Yes.
Okay. So, can you give me another example of an issue that people have to discuss, maybe about, for example, you give the example of the swimming pool. So you decide that everybody can vote for the swimming pool. So is the swimming pool paid by the kibbutz, or is there something different?
The investment. We need to invest like 3 million shekels, okay, which is a huge amount. And the kibbutz have to take out of money pocket to invest in the swimming pool, which is brand new. It's going to be brand new. So it's a matter of priorities, where you take the money from and where you give the money to the swimming pool or to the pension, to the people or to the swimming pool. Because there are people who say, hey, we don't need swimming pool here. We can go to the kibbutz next door, to the city next door, to the beach, which is 10 minutes drive from here. Why do we need the swimming pool here? Let's save the 3 million shekels and we know what to do with it.
And you decide to have a new swimming pool?
We are going to decide that. In the next month.
Next month you have to
Yes.
And you don't know what will be the result?
I think I know, but we'll see. Wait and see. Call me after, or call Ilan after the decision and find out.
But there was a swimming pool before.
Yes.
And
but it got old. It got broken down, and the health problem. The health ministry said, hey, you need to filter the water, and you need to do this and do that, and you can't operate it anymore. The old swimming pool.
And who paid for this old swimming pool?
The kibbutz? The kibbutz? Yes, there was no question.
There was no question.
No. Now there's a lot of questions. Things that I was take for granted in the old days are nothing now is obvious. Things in the back were very obvious and were very clear. Who's paying, who's getting what, and who's giving what. But now it's totally different. It's not obvious. It's not for granted.
So how do you manage this?
I manage. That's why. That's my professionality.
But you organize a lot of meeting and asifa, you say?
Lots of meeting. Lots of meeting. I come here, for instance, on Tuesday, today, okay? Most of the Tuesdays, I wake up at I go from my house at around 6 o'clock in the morning. I drive here and I arrive here at 8 o'clock. And I'm staying here till 11 p.m. And I'm getting back to my wife and family at 1 o'clock or so on. There's many days like this here in Xanita.
So if you spend all your week like this with a very long day, what is...
I'm not complaining.
No, I understand, but what is your own motivation in your work? What do you like?
That's what first of all, this is my profession. That's what I do, and I like what I'm doing. Okay, you have to have a living, right?
Yeah.
And I like to work with people. I like to work with people. I like I'm not afraid of conflicts. This is my bread and butter, dealing with conflicts, dealing with changes, organization changes, business and economic things, and that's what I do, and that's what I like to do.
And you think that there is a conflict between an old view, because
there's a lot of conflict. You can't cut it old view and new view. There's a lot of cuts. It's not black and white. Okay, it has many colors, and you never know where is the next argument is going to be, or who is going to bring it up. Okay, it's not that simple, old and new. If it was simple, then I wouldn't have any job to do. Okay, but it's very complicated.
So you mean your work is mostly dealing with conflict and helping people
I
to
think so, yes.
Go to a decision?
Right.
And it's not because usually
I'm not a manager that I'm not a kibbutz manager. Is not a manager of a company, of a business company in France or in Tel Aviv or whatever, who says this is my decision, that's the direction and we're going. No, I'm working as more of teamwork, more democracy work. Okay, it has its politic size. It's not a real formalistic politics, but it's politic work. Okay, and I'm convincing people. Okay, I have to convince people to go with me. I'm not saying, hey, I'm the boss. That's what you should do and do it. No. If I say that, next day I'm out. Okay? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So does it mean that you never have any opinion, your own?
No, of course I have my own opinion, and I'm saying my opinion, of course. But it doesn't say that I'm saying this is my opinion and you should accept it and that's it. I'm telling my opinion. Of course, I have an opinion, and I'm saying it, and I'm presenting my opinion. Of course, but I'm trying to convince the people. I'm not telling them what to do, and this is my opinion, and you have to accept it, and that's it.
And is there any other example? I don't know, about garbage, or I don't know.
No, I'm not doing. I'm not. Me personally, and my job is not to deal with municipal things. And okay, you understand, the garbage, the
public services.
Public services. No, that's not my job.
Who is doing this?
Yaakov.
Ah, Yaakov. It's someone else in the direction of the kibbutz.
Right.
So can you explain how is organized the direction of the kibbutz?
Okay, it's not obvious also. As you can understand, Xanita is very. Nothing is obvious, and it's not every kibbutz. No, every kibbutz is different. There are similar things, principally similar things, but every kibbutz has its own. Forgot the word. I need to see it.
Organization, you mean?
No, not that's what I meant. diverse or different. Okay. No. Okay. Distinct. Every kibbutz has its own distinctive points. Let's say. Here in Xanita, I'm the chairman of the kibbutz. Okay, that's my title. Chairman of the kibbutz. The kibbutz have two principal branches: the business and economic and the finance branch, and the community, municipal branch. Okay, two branches, two hands. Okay, and I'm the head. And I have to combine and to synchronize between those two branches, okay? Which have many times arguments and conflict of interests and so on, okay? So I have to balance and to synchronize between those two branches. That's my job. Okay, I also, for the time being, managing the business branch. Okay, that's me. But I think in the near future, someone else will do this job. Okay, so I'll stay the chairman, and there will be two managers: the manager of the community and the manager of the businesses. Right now, I'm doing both. Chairman and business.
And business.
Okay? That's for now.
Okay. And so, as a business manager now,
okay,
for the companies, is there sometimes, you know, in France, business managers think sometimes that municipality managers are against them. That they are in conflict with them, and that they don't understand the law of business, and that because of the globalization, business manager wants to develop their activity and to look for the good prices, for the low salaries.
Of course.
It's a little bit caricatural. It's like that.
No, but you're right. Okay. Yes. Here it's not. It's quite the same. Quite the same. But Yaakov, who is managing the community, and I will work as a team. Okay. So we have our arguments. Okay, and it's by definition there's a conflict of interest between the community and the business. In many ways, the community wants as much money to pass from the business to the community, and the business says, "Hey, I need to develop. I need to go abroad. I need to go global. I need to invest in a new machine or whatever." Okay, so there's by definition conflict of interest. Here it's not different in the kibbutz Xanita or kibbutz everywhere. But the solution is to work as a team. Everyone needs to know what the other needs, and to have a balance in those interests, in this conflict of interest. That's the key.
And the business is successful in its own field at the moment for your business?
Yes. Even though for Kotlab, for instance, has a lot of it's a profitable, okay? It makes money, but not as much as we wanted to, or we think that it should have. It's because of the economical situation globally. In Europe, the situation is very bad. The markets are very hard now, and the competition is very, very harsh. It's very. We would like to profit more. We would like to sell more. The business Kotlab, for instance, or the lenses, Xanita lenses, and so on, of course.
So, if we come back to the kibbutz, can you say for you what is the meaning of living in a kibbutz?
For me personally?
For you personally, and what you see also, we can say
the kibbutz,
you, and then what do you see as a value of community for people? What does it mean?
Mm-hmm. First of all, you have to know that my grandfather, who passed away more than 30 years ago, he was one of the pioneers of kibbutz and Xarod. He came in the year 1921 and built the kibbutz with his group.
Where did you come from?
From Russia, from Ukraine. Okay, and my mother, who's also passed away, she was born in the kibbutz. So I'm a third generation in my kibbutz.